Outstanding game, outstanding atmosphere, and a road game for us. I thought the opportunity to play this series is a tremendous opportunity for both programs. Obviously, we want the outcome to be a little bit different, but there's no doubt in my mind that when it comes down to Kansas versus Missouri, Missouri versus Kansas, no matter where it's at, it brings an outstanding amount of fandom, support from all over, no matter what years you have enrolled in either institution. I think it reinvigorates both universities, both fan bases, but ultimately it gives a tough opportunity to play a great game that both teams will continue to learn from. I thought this game was a game of runs. I thought it changed when there was a double tech instead of a flagrant that was called in that first half. Defensively, we did a tremendous job following our scouting report, but that was a point I thought the game changed, and they went on to I believe a 20+ to probably 8-point run or 5 run going into from that end of the first to the second half. It was great to see Mark Mitchell get to the foul line. He's one of the top players in the country at drawing fouls. I thought the opportunities to see him get to the free throw line in the first half was replaced by travels. I hadn't seen travels nor 3 seconds in a long time. I hadn't. But those were some great opportunities. Out of our 5 turnovers, 3 of them was travels in that first half that I thought our guys fought through and still played good basketball. But those are opportunities that I think we continue to either get to the foul line with, or in addition to that, we're able to get certain stops on the other end, and we didn't during those runs.
Questions for Coach and Mark? For both of you, what do you feel like was missing from the offense today? What was missing?
Free throw shooting. I think at the end of the day, battle fouls and non-battle fouls are different. You can say Mark Mitchell ended up with double-digit free throws, but in actuality, he didn't. The question is, did he end up with those fouls when the battles was taking place? And he did not. So he got to do a better job. I got to do a better job at putting him in better situations where those fouls are called, but more importantly, it's not travels. It's not travels. And I think that took away from a little bit of our aggression. It was great to see Luke Northweather and Jacob Cruz knock down jump shots. I think in that second half or that first half, we got the same looks. We just didn't capitalize on those makes that I thought we should have. We were able to get a positive or even a parallel assist to turnover ratio in that first half. 5 assists, 5 turnovers, but again, 3 of those were travels for some reason. So,
Dennis, beyond Jacob Cruz right now, do you have the perimeter shooting that you would like to have to play your style?
Yeah, absolutely. We just got to knock down the shots. At the end of the day, our guys do a good job. Javon Porter had 3 open looks, I thought, from behind, or 2 open looks. Three of his 4 were open looks. 1 at the top of the key, 1 to start the game, and then an additional one. We can't go 1 for 4 in those situations. Again, it was great to see those guys knock down shots toward the end, but ultimately those are those shots when I think of our execution that was missing from that 25. So free throws and those open looks, and I'll go back and count them. We generated the shots. We just didn't knock them down, and it didn't go our way.
Dennis, after that run in the middle there that you said kind of was the turning point,
yeah,
what were some adjustments you tried to make there, and how do you think that played out?
Well, we just had to regroup. Being on the road here in KC, obviously the numbers speak for that. I don't know how many fans showed up, but it was probably 90% Kansas, 10% us. It's a road game, and we got to be able to withstand the runs. We got to get through those moments. And ultimately, I'm proud that it was only 10 turnovers, but what type of turnovers were they? They were not decision-making turnovers. They were violations. So when you have majority of violations as your turnovers, those are possessions that are offensively things that we can execute on. So we just got to do a better job with our ratio of violations, our ratio of settling and getting to that free throw line early. I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of what they did. I'm proud of their fight. One game, would have loved to see it go the other way.
Mark, what did it feel like when you had that dunk to make it 23-21? Could you feel the arena kind of pick up behind you, and just overall, what was it like for you to be playing here today?
It was an honor, it's a blessing. Me being from Kansas City. I've been here probably doubled it 10, 20 times. My brother coming back for concerts, coming back for just preseason NBA games. I've been to a couple of KU games, things like that here over my time. So it's just a blessing just to play here today. Just and obviously to have that moment with the crowd and the momentum and everything. That's why you can just the emotion. I usually don't get that fired up, but just I could feel the flow of the game really needed that. So it's just an honor.
Mark, what's the matchup with Darren like, and what's your preparation like when you only play a couple games?
To be honest, we treated it like he played every game. A guy with that much talent, he's going to be a high NBA draft pick. So we treated it like he'd been playing 9, 10 games. We knew the talent he had. We knew what we were going to deal with coming in, and obviously he was pretty good and had a good day. Just trying to limit it, make it hard for him is all we can really do.
Coach Honor got the start tonight. Kind of what went into that decision, and how do you evaluate his play?
Well, credit to Honor. He did a great job. He was one of our top 3 players before a setback. And I have to continue to listen to our doctors and listen to our trainers and allow the processes to take place. But he was tremendous this summer. He was tremendous in preseason play, and ultimately he earned the opportunity. I thought it boded well with what he brings to the table from a defensive standpoint and an offensive standpoint, and another guy who was making shots on a catch and shoot basis. So when you look at what we were able to do in that first half, being able, when that score was 26-23, I believe, and that again, I'll go back to Ant Robinson picking up in a double tech, which I've never seen before. A guy get hit in the face. We call it double tech, and your best player don't close out that first half. I thought we got put in a bad situation.
Hey, Mark, earlier in the season, y'all were a really good second half team coming out, and after halftime, these past 2 games, y'all have let the game get away from you in the middle 8, and so I'm curious what you feel like has been the difference these past couple of games.
I think we just need to adjust to the other team's adjustments. I think coming out of halftime, teams make adjustments, teams find things that are working for them. And I think also just we got to close out halves better. I had whatever layup, a bad shot in the half led to that run out. The last game we didn't close halves well either. So I think just closing out the first half will help us start the second half a little better.
And as you mentioned, the atmosphere. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you to make you feel like that's why you want to see this keep happening? And
Well, it's awesome to see in a neutral site. Kansas had a band and we didn't. That's a home game. So what's great is hearing the other chants from the other team, their student section. It is a typical road game that allows you to see college basketball at its best. At its best, you can look at any rivalry across the country. There's only another one that's close to it, right? Illinois versus Missouri. That's how I look at it. Then there's some East Coast teams that also have rivals in basketball, whatever their names are. At the end of the day, in this Midwest, this game is supposed to continue, and it should never stop. It should never stop. We should not want an atmosphere to look another way. It is a war within homes. You got family members going from Kansas, their siblings going to Missouri. I just think ultimately it's a great rivalry, and it's a tremendous game. But the atmosphere, it speaks for itself. You hear the chants, you hear the roars. It's great to hear the silence when we go on a run. And then when they go on a run, it's just absolute pandemonium. And then the energy we generate as a team on the road, it resembles nothing but conference games. And that's what it's about.
Mark, you spent time at Bishop Miege and then made the move to Sunrise. You spent a year at Duke, but I know Missouri and Kansas, at least Coach Phelps have recruited you heavily. You were one of the top guys in your class coming out, so you know some of these guys. It's a rivalry game, but does it mean a little bit more for you just because you were recruited by Missouri, ended up Missouri, recruited by Kansas, and now you're kind of in the middle of it?
I think it means a lot just because it's just the rivalry of what it is. I live 30 minutes from Lawrence. I live right in Shawnee, the next area is where I'm from. So just means a lot just to be in this rivalry, just to have the Mizzou fans behind my back. Obviously, KU and Coach Self and Norm and those guys when he was there, recruiting me really hard. So I know that's a good staff, some good guys over there. But I think this just means more just to be a Missouri Tiger and to go fight and just put on for the rivalry.
One last question. Mark, overall, what do you think you guys can take from these last 2 games?
Just continue to learn and grow, see what we can do better. That's a good team. And obviously we were playing with them for a while. They go on spurts, going things like that, just learning to keep our composure. And just it's little things, when 3 points, 5 points, 2 points, they add up. And now you feel like you're down by more than what really happened. So just keep going, go back to the drawing board, keep learning, and just staying together.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, MIZ.